All right, our next performer, Darka Dusty, is a writer and musician. Do I not have that? Oh, shoot, I have the wrong, okay. I apologize. Let's ignore that. Emily Overstreet is a musician and graphic designer, ticketing manager for True West and the Aladdin Theater. She currently plays a Wurlitzer and sings in the Portland band Bitchin'. She'll do anything to get on a plane and go somewhere, anywhere, and loves talking to strangers. Emily has been known to release a belly laugh so hearty that it sent the neighborhood cats beelining for shelter and solace. Please welcome Emily Overstreet.
Hey, thank you. I started to think I might be getting the boot tonight, which would have been fun. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. Okay. So I grew up in rural Southern Oregon in a town called Eagle Point. It was a pretty sheltered life. It seems to be the theme so far. And come to think of it, it was actually very religious too. So I was in a pretty wholesome family, didn't really have any, domestic violence issues, and was really dedicated to the church down there. Just kind of grew up in it and became really involved with leading worship for all kinds of church services. And it was great, I had my family, I had my youth group, I had some cows, and it was a good life. And you grow up in that, which I think a lot of us have, and you learn the things like how to be, a submissive wife, and men are head of the households, and just all that kind of basic stuff that you guys already know. And I just took it all in as truth. I don't remember really thinking about it on my own and challenging it much. I just kind of went in and glided through. And so after I kind of graduated high school, I got married at 19, which is what you do. And, thought I had it all figured out. It went south pretty quickly. We moved to Portland, Oregon, and by 24, I decided to go against what the church wanted and strike out on my own and get a divorce. It was the first time I had made a decision that went against anything that I had been brought up with like that, and it was pretty hard. I really felt like that was my first coming of age moment at 24. Thanks. It was rough. But I was out of it, and so I became a little bit more, I was shut out from the church. I didn't feel welcome anymore. I was kicked off the worship team, and I had no avenue for music. And I started to make a new group of friends and slowly kind of come out of it and just find myself. And I made a great group of friends here in Portland that are all about music and performing and just total geniuses. And we call ourselves homies. That's what we all call each other, homies. It doesn't matter who they are, they're your homie. It's pretty cool. So I put myself out there one day after feeling an extra hole in my heart from not playing much music, and I put it out there on Facebook that I wanted to play in a band again. And sure enough, a couple of my homies called me up. These women that I was friends with, but I also kind of idolized, they were in bands, and they were really cool and DIY and punk rock and all those cool things that I wanted to be so bad, but I had no idea how to do it. I just wanted that. And they called me up and they're like, hey, let's form a band, let's do this. So we got together, started practicing, and we formed this band called Bitchin'. And so even just the name of that band was a symbol of this new start of my life. And I went all in, I was surrounded by these 4 other women that were incredibly powerful, creative, totally unique, beautiful, just fierce. And I was in it. all of a sudden, like this church girl from Eagle Point, Oregon. And so we played some shows, we got on the radio, and we're doing good, got really excited, and we decided to play our first show out of town, which is at this place called Treefort Music Fest, which is in Boise. Some of you might have heard of it. It's a great festival over there, and it's in Boise, so everything's really flat, and you can just walk around town, and everybody kind of just like fills the town for a weekend and makes it this really cool, like safe place to walk around from venue to venue. And it feels like heaven. Like everywhere you go, there's somebody that's either just played a show or they're going to a friend's show, and it's just like 3 or 4 days of heaven. So we get there the first night. We see some friends play some music. It's like chilly. I've got my raincoat on. We're kind of walking around, but it's just gorgeous. We're all just kind of like high on life. Like, we finally made it. It's big. We're big now, Like, we made it to Boise. It was a big deal. And so, I was just reveling in it. It really was a dream come true. We were all kind of walking around, the homies. We were walking around town, getting pretty late, had some drinks, whooping and hollering. Somewhere off in the distance, you could hear another band playing still, like the drum beat somewhere out there and on, Main Street or something in Boise. So we decided to go back to the hotel, and we're all walking as a group. There's probably 8 or 10 of us. And I'm just feeling great. Man, what a great night. So fun. And there's a couple more people that are walking toward us, these 2 guys. And one of them kind of comes towards us and kind of goes against the brick wall, in an awkward position. Why would you choose that route to walk? Why couldn't you just go around our group? That's strange. All right, that's fine. People are stupid, internalizing all of it. And all of a sudden he pretends to trip, which is odd, I think. And he gropes me. All of a sudden his hands are on the front and the back of my body. It was as if time stopped and it sped up all at once. It was just I totally wasn't expecting it, of course. It was the most shocking single moment that I've had in a long time. I had never been sexually harassed physically like that before. And before I knew it, I had him by the throat. And I took this guy, it was in 2 seconds. I don't know how it happened, but I took him by the throat and I slammed him against the wall. And I looked him straight in the eyes and I said, "Don't touch me." And then I bitch slapped him. And I was like, it was the single most empowering moment of my life, and I was with bitchin', and it was so great. And I remember my friend Poppy is everybody's figuring out what just happened. It happened so fast that nobody could catch it in time, so they're reacting. And I remember my friend Poppy going, he's from Mexico. He goes, "Holy shit! Oh, Emily just slapped that guy! Oh, Emily! Oh my God! You okay, homie? You okay?" It was just the best, and it felt like all the good parts of youth group, again. All those good parts where you've got your clan and you're safe. I'm sure that's part of why I did that, because I had my people. It was a fantastic moment, and we walked back to the hotel after some high fives and some more whoops. Walked back to the hotel, and somebody was or Poppy, I think, was "Okay, who's gonna host the after party?" And I was like, "I am." I was this new woman all of a sudden. So I was "Room 408, we're gonna do this." Hosted this great after party with all of our friends, 40 people in our room. We stayed up till 5. It was the best night. And I think ever since that moment, it was another coming of age moment for me. And I've never felt so strong in a moment like that. I feel like there's a lot of new situations as a woman that I can take on now. Thanks.
Overstreet, everybody, give her a round of applause. So great.
Thank you.
So, like, is your next plan to like overtake a corrupt government and like solve that problem as your next badass thing that you do?
Totally.
That's a super badass story, man. That's
Thanks.
awesome that you get to carry that around with you.
It is kind of fun.
So, what are you doing musically? Are you in a band now? Or are you looking at?
Still in bitchin'.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Are you playing anywhere next or currently or where?
We've got some shows. We've got one on June 29th at the Doug Fir with Cat Hawk and Moon Tiger. So it's kind of another like women-based show.
Yeah.
Be awesome. They're amazing. And then we have a tape release party at Holocene in August. So that'll be super fun where we get to kind of take the spotlight. So
Do you have a website?
we have a Facebook page and we're working on the website.
Okay, so Bitchin' is the Facebook page?
Yeah, bitchin'.
Awesome.
You can find us BITCH''N.
Yay, well, check
That's how
her
you spell
out
bitch.
everywhere because she's amazing. And give it up again for Everly Overstreet.
Thanks, guys.